Let's help our audience understand what is the problem here, or the instruction that officials are asking the electorate to brace for.
Right now, I think the question and what they really are trying to tell everyone is trust the process. The election system and all of the networks are secure and resilient, and the idea of your vote being hacked or being rigged or taken away from you is a fallacy, and they have spent the better part of the last year preparing to refute those claims and push back against any question of the integrity of the election system.
What's interesting is about who leads CISA and how it's become sort of a personalised agency as well in many ways.
That's right. Jen Easterly has come on board as the head of CISA, the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, in 2021, and she has really sort of centralized the focus of the agency on herself. She's a West Point graduate. She's done tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. One thing that I didn't really know about her was that she can actually solve a Rubik's Cube behind her back, which I thought was very interesting. But she has literally tried to make this, I know, right? She's tried to make this a very personal effort because, as she said, people trust people, and she's been very forward-facing. She's been out, she goes to conferences, she's been speaking before Congress. Her whole sort of posture is transparency and candor, and she's doing everything she can to really build relationships, not just with the private sector, but also with public sector and with the public at large.
Jamie, let's talk a little bit more about the threats themselves. You've come on the show, the team have come on the show and talked about literally voting technology in the cybersecurity context, threats online. Where is there most risk in this week of the election?
I think one of the real big challenges that not just folks like Jen Easterly have been facing, but state election officials, local election officials have been dealing with, is really where people are getting their information from, how they are verifying that information, and the question of whether people will see something through social media and actually believe it. And really, it's got to be a question of trust, but verify, and look at what your state election officials are saying, look at what they're doing, and it's going to come from everywhere. And we're already seeing it. It's online, it's on X, it's on TikTok, it's on YouTube, it's on all of your social media platforms, which, by the way, have taken a bit of a backward step in terms of mediating and being more involved in sort of political transparency. So just being able to trust those institutions themselves is harder these days, but it really becomes a question of, if you see something online that doesn't look right, ask, look, try to find out, go to your state election official website and see what they're saying, particularly when it comes to the voting process. And also the idea that the election is not going to be decided on the day. We may not have a result on the day. Hang tight and just don't let that overwhelm you. Have faith in the institutions.
To that point, many don't have faith in institutions. And that is interestingly why Easterly has made it so much about herself, correct? Sort of the face to an agency that actually doesn't have much bang. Well, doesn't have much buck, but it's certainly trying to have more bang.
Definitely. She's definitely done more in terms of being much more outward speaking, trying to push, you're right, it's voluntary guidelines for a large part of industry. We've seen so many hacks and so many compromises of critical infrastructure. And it really is a question of what private sector can do, what organizations can do. And she's been really at the forefront of trying to get everyone on board. And she's had some success there. But it really is a question of how much everyone will meet in the middle. But also, she's got a long way ahead of her. Everyone is not going to sort of, it's really going to be a question of sitting tight and looking to see and trusting the results and waiting to see what these elections are not going to be decided in one day. It's going to take a long time for every single vote to be counted, but that's really the integrity of the process, for every single vote to be counted.